Hello everyone, welcome back to my mom's channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time we post a new video, and make sure to watch our previous videos. Today's recipe is how to make the French macaron. Macarons are made in two different ways, the Italian way and the French way. Today we're going to be making the French way. Right now, we're going to give you the best way to make the macarons. Right now, I'm going to tell you the most important reasons why on our first try, the macarons failed. And after that, we're going to tell you the most important reasons that they will not crack and will work. Now, we're going to get started on making the macarons. The ingredients are 65 grams of egg whites, 50 grams of sugar, 70 grams of grinded almonds. Then we will need 120 grams of icing sugar. Now we're gonna use a blender or a mixer to put the almonds and icing sugar inside. Next we will grind them a little bit together so that they will become more powdery. We'll grind them like 3 or 2 times. Next we will sift it together with a sifter because this is very important, so don't forget to do it. In a separate bowl, we will pour in the egg whites. Next, we will mix the egg whites with a mixer for about 2 minutes. Next, we will add a pinch of salt. We will keep mixing until the egg whites become fluffy. Next, we will mix sugar with the egg whites and make sure you do a little bit at a time. Don't do all of it together. This step is very important, so make sure you don't put all the sugar at once. After the egg whites become mirroring, you can add any color of food coloring you want, but make sure it's gel food coloring. We will keep mixing the egg whites until it becomes stiff, heavy, and thick. Now that the egg whites have become stiff, even if you move the bowl, it will not fall out. Now we will add the grinded almonds and icing sugar to the egg whites. Now we will keep mixing in a circular way, and if any of the ingredients get stuck on the side of the bowl, make sure you swipe it into the middle and keep mixing in a circular way. This process takes about 4 to 6 minutes, so be patient. Now be careful, it's important because we have to keep mixing it until we get to a specific point. We didn't speed up the video so that you can see the consistency of the macaron when we started and when we have to stop. Another important tip is that if we mix more than what we're supposed to mix, then the macaron will fail and it won't work. The reason why my last try for making the macaron failed was because I mixed it the wrong way. Right now, if you see your mixture of the macaron consistency getting very thick and when you hold it up it will cut down, then you have to keep mixing. Right now, you should mix it like you take your side of the spoon or spatula and you wipe it on the side of the bowl and then bring it back to the middle and keep mixing it that way. If you see that your mixture is still really thick, all you have to do is mix. For you to know if the mixture is ready or not, you will see it getting a bit more shiny, and you will also see it getting more smooth than it would be before, and you just have to keep mixing. Right now, the consistency of the mixture is still really thick and it cuts down when we're dropping it, so we're going to keep mixing. Right now the consistency looks more smooth and shiny than it was before, but it's still very thick, so that's why we keep mixing. Right now you see the mixture getting more thinner and less thick. You just have to keep mixing. When you see the mixture getting very smooth and when you drop it down it doesn't cut down anymore, that means you have to stop mixing, and this is the right point where you have to stop. Now you're going to use the circular tip for icing bag, and you're going to pour in your macaron mixture inside. If you don't have a silicone mold to use for your macaron mixture, you could just use a piece of parchment paper, use a cookie cutter to draw your circle, and make sure you flip the parchment paper around. Now you will pipe in the macaron mixture into those little circles that you see through the parchment paper. After you piped your macaron mixture, you have to wait at least 30 to 60 minutes for them to dry and then put them in the oven. After you finished icing them, make sure you take your tray and kind of tap it gently on your counter. And if you see little bubbles there, you could use a pin or a toothpick to pop them. When you leave them to dry, make sure you preheat the oven to 300 Fahrenheit. After they dry, make sure you tap them lightly on the top to make sure if it's dry on the outside, and then leave them in the oven for only 15 minutes, no more or no less. Now this is what they look like when you take them out of the oven. They are really easy to peel off of the parchment paper. They don't stick at all. You could just peel them off. After we peel them off of the parchment paper, we leave them to cool down before we fill them with your filling. For your filling, you will need 1 cup of chocolate chips, 1/4 cup of whipping cream, 1 teaspoon of butter. Next, we put them in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds and we mix until it's all melted. Next, we have to wait for it to cool down and become thick, and then we will pipe it into the macaron. You can fill the macarons with any filling you want. You can do Nutella, chocolate ganache, or anything. You could even use buttercream icing or cheese cream icing. This is the finished product of French macarons, and they are really delicious. The reason why last time our macarons cracked and failed was because we didn't wait for them to completely dry before we put them in the oven. The other reason for failure is if your macarons melted while they were in the oven. That happened because your egg whites were more than your crushed almonds and icing sugar. If your mixture got stuck to your silicone mat or your parchment paper, that means that you haven't mixed your mixture very well. These are the most important pros and cons of failure and if your macarons worked. And we really hope that you got a good idea of this video and that you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time we post a new video. Goodbye!